Hi, my name's Juliet, and today I'm talking about inserting different elements into your Scrivener 3 manuscript and how those affect how it will display. I'm going to show you this both with ebook and paperback generation, but to be honest, it's much easier to change any formatting you need to in the actual compiled paperback than actually doing it in Scrivener 3. So, what are we looking at? Well, the first section is plain text with no formatting, adding line returns in between, and adding designated line spacing. The second section is the same kind of thing with a graphic inserted into the page. The third section is the same with a table inserted. Now let's compile and see what we get. On the left is the EPUB open in Adobe Digital Editions, and on the right the Word document. First up, the plain text. This works as you'd expect. First paragraph not indented, all the others indented. With a clear line space in between, in both instances the text has indents removed for all paragraphs. And surprisingly, with 12-point spacing added using the line spacing function, there is no change applied. All of these prove that formatting on the page is, apart from allowing clear line spaces, overridden by formatting in Compile. Now let's look at the inserted graphic. The graphic with no space either side looks different in the two formats. In the ebook it has some automatic spacing either side, but this doesn't happen in the paperback. All paragraphs follow the indent format because no clear line spaces were added. With a line space either side of the graphic, we have line spaces in the documents, but paragraphs have no indents. And with 12-point spacing, the ebook reverts to standard formatting, with some space either side, but the paperback gives the required 12-point spacing, but only after the graphic, not the paragraphs. So for a paperback you'd need to add the line spacing before, which logic would say would not appear in the ebook. Now on to tables. As with the graphic, in the ebook the table has automatic space either side and has the formatting I discussed in my video specifically about ebook tables. The paperback formatting is somewhat different. There is no spacing either side, and the following paragraph has its indent removed. The cells have expanded equally across the page, and there is no automatic bold text in the title cell. I haven't looked at table formatting for paperbacks yet, but clearly it's different. With line returns either side, the results are as for the graphics. And with 12-point spacing, the ebook looks fine, but there's no spacing in the paperback, and once again the following paragraph loses its indent. All of this is what happens with simply using the standard compile formats. So what are the ways in which you might be able to remedy some of these formatting issues? Before I suggest anything, I'll just throw in that all of these things have their quirks, and if you change them to have one item formatted correctly, you might inadvertently end up changing something else. I'm making no guarantees here. However, if you're compiling a document to Word, I think by far the best option in most instances is to change the formatting there. And just as a heads up, I'll be talking about paperbacks next week. Having said that, there are a number of places in which formatting can be adjusted that might help with your ebook. Custom formatting in eBook Compile is a good place to start. Open up your custom format and go into Text Layout. You see all those ticks under Remove First Line Indents. That's where some of the indent issues come from. You may want to play around with these settings to get the effect you want. Even just knowing these defaults can help you with deciding how to place the text on the page. For example, knowing that if you put in a line space your text will go back to the margin can actually be quite useful for some kinds of display. Another thing you can try is to highlight the text and specify Preserve Formatting for some portions of it, which you'll find under the Format menu. I have used this to keep text at the margin without using extra line spaces in an ebook. And there is also the option of creating documents as is in Compile through using NA section types. However, this could mean you have to think more about how to format titles, etc., in order to get your document to look how you want it to, and you may need to create more section layouts. I hope this helps if you're having issues. The solution you choose will depend on what effect you want to get. If you're trying to do something specific in your ebook and cannot work out how to get it to work, pop a description of your issue down in the comments and I'll see if I can help in a future video, although that won't be an immediate solution. Thanks for watching, and if you've subscribed, I'll see you again next time.